Purposes served by a Citizens Charter. Or you can get a question like, what is the significance of Citizens Charter program? The same points would have to be articulated, right? Firstly, we can clarify expectations with respect to government. As I said earlier, in the pre-1997 era, before Citizens Charters were introduced, you used to go to a government agency. You're already paying taxes, mind you. You're paying some fees also to get some service, to secure some service from the government. Let us say to get a passport also, right? You have fulfilled all your commitments, paid the requisite fees, documents, etc. All has been done. But then the government is non-committal. Government does not come out with its own commitments. Ke bhaiya, in how much time the passport will be delivered? They take their own sweet time, right? We don't even know, when we go to the government, fulfill our side of the bargain or the deal, what to expect from the government. So when Citizens Charter clearly lays down all the timelines, temporal commitments, qualitative commitments and standards of service, at least citizens now have this ability to understand when we complete our formalities, what should we expect from the government? This is the most reasonable expectation a citizenry must have and should have from any system of government in a democracy, right? So it helps in clarifying expectations from the government, what we can expect from the government, right? Then it enables the government to become more responsive. Obviously, in the end, every government department, government program, government agency, government scheme, etc. is designed for responding to people's effective needs. If Citizens Charter exercise is actually based on proper consultation with the local citizens, with the stakeholders, with the client groups, etc., it can actually meet the needs of, it can actually become an instrument in delivering upon the needs of the common citizen in a very efficient, effective manner. This is what responsive government is all about, responding effectively to the felt needs of the people. So, enables the government to become more responsive to people's needs, right? And eventually, public service is public service. But the point is that, rarely do you find in developing countries, especially in India also, that most of the civil servants, even down to the street level bureaucracy, they are always imbued by this master mindset. What is this master? How does it operate? In the absence of timelines, in the absence of Citizen Charter commitment, somebody would come to your public agency and apply for something, fulfill his responsibilities and all the formalities. And then he would naturally ask the concerned officer, sir, dobara kab aau? When should I expect it? And the standard response would be, have patience, it takes time, lot of applications, come after 2-3 days, inquire, and then he comes again, and then again, he has to go back disappointed, etc. This is not the kind of public service which is actually even performing any kind of service. But when there are timelines, when there are qualitative standards, when there are temporal standards, etc., which are linked to every commitment and every service provided by an organization, then a service culture will develop. In the absence of that, you still will continue with the so-called master mindset, which has been a legacy of colonial India, the worst legacy of colonial India for our civil service, right? So, it can create service orientation as opposed to the existing master mindset in civil services. And then I said that a good charter program is always built on consultation with participation of the client groups, the citizens also. So, a good citizen charter program can also involve people and provide for people's participation. People's participation is a key element of democracy as such, and it also leads to empowerment. Go further, it strengthens accountability, right? If with respect to delivery of various services, no timelines are there, no standards have been put in place, then how do you even hold the person accountable for his performance? But the moment there are standards, there are quantifiable timelines which are linked to delivery of every public service, now we can measure performance. And now we can even, distinguish between those civil servants who are actually performing and who are non-performing, thereby strengthening the concept of accountability, right? Now see here, it strengthens accountability. And then because this is a reform which is coming from the government side, government is doing it on its own, right? So it at some level, it's not something which the government is simply doing in response to some public movement that has taken place. Government is preparing these charters on its own. So it's more like a proactive approach which the government is taking towards the notion of good governance, right? So it symbolizes a proactive approach towards good governance. And if civil servants as a result of these charter commitments are able to deliver upon those commitments, citizens are satisfied then. Citizens are happy. If the citizens are happy with the performance of civil servants, already the credibility of the trust, there is a lot of trust deficit between the government and the citizens, government agencies and the citizens, right? There is a lot of credibility deficit also. So if citizens get good services as per charter commitments from the public agencies, this would help in building trust, restore that element of credibility of civil services, of civil servants as well as public agencies. Have a look over here. It improves the image and the credibility of government and its officials. And because of all these things, eventually, you can say it is a tool for people's empowerment. If people are participating, people can hold them accountable better. It enables the government to become more responsive. You get to know about the expectations from government. Civil service starts adopting the service orientation as opposed to master mindset. This leads to people's empowerment. And once people's empowerment is the result of Citizens Charter, it is a tool for strengthening democracy. Right. And see here, if Citizens Charter commitments, they are prepared for every scheme and program of the government, which are based on entitlements to be given to citizens. And if proper timelines are there, and the civil servants are required to adhere to those timelines. So, Citizens Charter can also become a very important instrument of human development and economic growth and development. How? You know, if with respect to any public program under which some poor people in rural India are entitled to something, and if there are proper timelines over there, so then those entitlements would be given in good time. The pace of human development, economic development would also increase, right? So, Citizens Charter, if it is built into all those welfare programs, becomes an integral component, very essence of central feature of all those development programs and welfare programs, which are actually designed to develop the people, right? For providing for human development, economic development. So, Citizens Charter can also become an instrument for fast-pacing development of all kinds: economic development, human development, sustainable development, etc. Have a look over here. It can be viewed as an instrument for achieving various developmental goals. But this is when clear timelines and charter commitments are made with respect to every developmental and welfare program of the government, right? The faster you do it, the faster the country develops. That happens only when you have charter commitments, especially in terms of qualitative parameters and temporal timelines, right? So this is what you can expect from the Citizens Charter. And if the question comes as to what is the significance of Citizens Charter program, or that it is a key reform to strengthen democracy and to empower the people, these same points have to be articulated. 9 points have given to you over here, right?